I almost never do videos about plug-in hybrids, but I know a lot of you want them and I know a lot of you are interested in them for some reason. So even though I never plan on buying one, I would prefer, if I had no choice, if I wasn't allowed to buy an electric car, definitely a plug-in hybrid is the next best option. And considering the price of some of these plug-in hybrids, BYD's new Seal, all right, its new Seal plug-in hybrid in China starts at $12,000 US. But this is not the only plug-in hybrid that is priced at a remarkably low number for what is actually a pretty decent car. In fact, there is 4 pretty decent electric cars, or I should say plug-in hybrids, that have been revealed within the last few days with shockingly low prices for their appearance of their actual quality. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans, you're watching The Electric Viking, great to have you with us. We've heard within the last week that Zeekr and XPeng, they are going to start selling plug-in hybrids. They believe that some customers want them and so they'll build them. That said though, there was a story today sharing the price of the new BYD Seal DMI. It starts at $12,250 US. Guys, even though I know that technically BYD say that they make a profit selling cars, do you really think they're making a profit selling a car the size of a Tesla Model 3 for $12,000 US? I don't reckon they do on this. Come on. The Seal family sold 389,000 units in 2024. That contributed around 9% of BYD's total sales in the same year, which is a pretty remarkable result. The company's website shows that this new model, this BYD Seal plug-in hybrid, starts at $12,200 US. But there's a couple of models, there's 3 different models. The most expensive version is about $16,000 US. Now the DMI will be equipped with BYD's 5th generation DM technology with ultra low fuel consumption. And you've probably heard a few stories recently of these plug-in hybrids getting 2,000 kilometers of range. Completely fake, completely and utterly fake. We used to get these stories with electric cars as well. Remember, people did this back in the day, back with the Tesla Model S and other vehicles. They'd get 2,000 kilometers of range, driving them extremely slowly on a perfectly smooth racetrack at about 20, 30 kilometers an hour with the right winds, no wind on the right day. It's all fake news. So guys, I don't share articles like this because these claims from Chinese car companies that their hybrids are getting 2,000 kilometers of range, they're not, you could never, ever, ever replicate them. So anyway, they do get a lot of range though. They're pretty good. I still think you can get over 1,000 kilometers in the real world, or over 600, probably over 650 miles in the real world. So really good numbers. How big is this vehicle? Well, to give you some context, it's 4,780 millimeters long. So it's actually slightly bigger than a Tesla Model 3. It has an engine, a 1.5 litre engine that has only 74 kilowatts, so about 100 horsepower. And it has a single motor with a peak power of 120 kilowatt. That's the electric motor. The actual dimensions of this vehicle, even though it's not the same as the actual BYD Seal EV you can buy in Australia and our other countries as well, it's pretty much the same in terms of dimensions. It's only 2 centimeters shorter. Now the vehicle uses a BYD Blade battery, and that $12,000 version, it does get a pretty small battery pack. It's only a 7.7 kilowatt hour battery. Pay a bit more though, a couple of thousand more, and you can get a 16 kilowatt hour BYD Blade battery. Range on that 7.7 kilowatt battery is said to be 43 kilometers CLTC, so probably around 25 to 30 kilometers. But the bigger battery pack gets 90 kilometers, so I'm going to guess that's actually WLTC, so probably around about 80 kilometers, maybe 75 to 80 kilometers in the real world. That's actually pretty good for a vehicle that's this cheap. Consumption in hybrid mode doesn't appear to be that great in my opinion, to be honest. It's 3.9 litres per 100 kilometers. They say the combined range on a full charge and tank is more than 2,000 kilometers, but I've actually never seen that in the real world and I don't personally believe it. Still, this car is fantastic value for money, just incredibly good value. Now another car, this is a car that's actually being sold outside of China. The Chery Fulwin T8 plug-in hybrid. They also claim you can get more than 2,000 kilometers of real-world tested range. Okay, I'll move on from that. Anyhow, the Chery Full1 T8 looks pretty good too, and the price is remarkable. This is about the same size as a Tesla Model Y. It's a bit more boxy though, a bit more of a traditional shaped SUV. It starts at $18,000 The most expensive version costs $22,000. The curb weight is 1,900 kilograms, so just over 4,000 pounds. You can get a 7-seat version of this vehicle, and it actually has a 1.5 litre turbocharged engine with 115 kilowatt and 154 horsepower. That also makes 220 newton meters of torque. The electric motor puts out 150 kilowatt, that's 201 horsepower, and 310 newton meters. So in total, you're probably going to be looking at about 200 kilowatt, probably close to 300 horsepower. Plenty of torque, so pretty good power from this vehicle. It also has two good sized batteries. The cheapest version of this car, $18,000 SUV, gets an 18.5 kilowatt hour battery. That's really good value. Fuel consumption is said to be much lower than BYD's vehicle at 2.5 litres of fuel per 100 kilometres. The EV only range is said to be 90 kilometres. CLTC range is 130 plus, which is obviously insane. You'd never get that from a battery pack that size. Anyhow, the comprehensive range is technically rated at 1,200 plus kilometers, but Chery says, no, in the real world, trust us, you'll get 800 more kilometers than that. Yeah, like I said, I don't think that's likely. But anyway, no matter what the case is, you probably get 1,200 kilometers of range. This thing is a very good deal. $18,000. Would I buy one? Hell no. But I think it's great value for people who want this kind of thing. Oh, okay, here's a vehicle that's actually very, very nice, and it's selling extremely well in China, the Geely Galaxy Starship 7 EMI. They delivered actually 20,000 units 1 month after launching this vehicle. So launch comes out. Normally car manufacturers take a while to build up, but no, Geely was like, no, here you go. We're going to get all these orders out. 20,000 deliveries in a single month right after they launched this car. That's a remarkable number. The Geely Galaxy Starship 7 EMI starts at a staggering $13,000, which is just insane. Its hybrid system is set to get around apparently 1,400 kilometers of range, and it comes in a couple of different options. Now that cheap version for $13,700 gets an 8 kilowatt hour LFP battery for a 55 kilometer electric range, but the slightly more expensive version, I believe that's about $3,000 more at around $15,000 to $16,000. It uses a pretty good sized battery. It's a 19 kilowatt hour battery, which gives it 120 kilometers of range. It might get close to that, maybe probably more like 80 kilometers, but that's probably what you'd need for most situations. The official combined range is 1,420 kilometers. Now, I haven't heard any wild 2,000 plus kilometer claims from Geely, so kudos to you, Geely, for not making wild claims that are completely nonsensical about the range of your vehicle. I think 1,400 kilometers is probably doable in this vehicle. Now, Americans, that's probably about 800 miles of range. It has a new hybrid system called the Nord Thor electric hybrid system, which focuses on performance and efficiency, they say. Now, in terms of size, it's also a similar size to a Tesla Model Y. It's 4,740 millimeters long. Curb weight of the version with the bigger battery is 1,700 kilograms. So it only weighs around 3,700 pounds. It's a really, really light weight. I'm pretty surprised by these numbers. I think this is the best value plug-in hybrid I have ever seen. I mean, seriously, what, $16,000 $15,000 for a 19 kilowatt hour battery in a vehicle this big, this size? This is just remarkable. Now, guys, I've actually driven the electric version of this car. It looks very similar to this, the fully electric version, and I've got to say, it's quite a premium car. It looks really nice on the inside. So what about its plug-in hybrid system? Well, it combines a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated engine that has 82 kilowatt and 136 newton meters with a high power electric motor. The electric motor has 160 kilowatt and 262 newton meters of torque. I believe it's the electric motor, the same one that is in the EV. They basically added a petrol engine to that same motor. And it has an EDHT transmission. It accelerates from 0 to 100 or 0 to 62 miles an hour in 7.5 seconds. pretty decent vehicle. Now, it's actually 125 millimeters longer than the Galaxy E5 electric car that I tested, and that will be on sale here in Australia. It's going to be Geely's first car they're going to be selling in Australia. I wonder if they're going to be, I think there's a good chance Geely will bring this car, the plug-in hybrid version of it as well, to Australia. And considering the prices, just how low they're priced in China, you might find this will undercut BYD and potentially be a better vehicle for a better price. Finally, Leapmotor have launched their new C16 SUV. It's been improved. It starts at $23,600 US, and it's a bit more expensive than, in fact, its previous price, and it's actually more expensive than the electric version. This vehicle, we have the electric version here in Australia on sale already. Now, the price, like I said, starts at $23,600 US. It has a CLTC range of 580 kilometers. The electric versions of this vehicle have 520 kilometers of CLTC range, about 450 kilometers of WLTP range from a 67 kilowatt hour battery. Now, this is actually a fairly big vehicle. It's actually bigger than a Tesla Model Y. It's 4.9 meters long and 1.9 meters wide. So it's more like the size of, well, it's nearly as big as something like a Ford Everest. It's quite a big vehicle. Now, there is an electric version and a plug-in hybrid version of this Leapmotor C16. And the C16 vehicle, I believe, it's not yet on sale in Australia, but I've heard rumors that it will be going on sale there. And other countries, I believe they're going to be selling in Europe as well. Leapmotor is part owned by Stellantis. So plug-in hybrids are going on sale in many countries around the world. And whilst I don't want to sponsor them or promote them, they're definitely a better option than diesel cars, than purely gasoline or purely petrol-powered cars. Definitely much better than a Toyota hybrid as well. It's just, you can't run it on electric power alone. If you've got a solar system, you can't charge it up and then drive for free. Guys, I can tell you now it's the best feeling in the world to be able to charge your car for free, to drive for free every day. I absolutely love it. So don't buy a hybrid. If you need a hybrid, you're just dead set, get a plug-in hybrid. They're a much better choice than a traditional hybrid that you can't run on the battery alone. Thanks for watching. Actually, guys, before I go, which of these is your favorite? Let me know in the comments.